the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. Waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider.
Another game. Looks like it might have been confirmed. Y'all hit that like button on your way in the building. I get on this H2O. Another game look like it's been confirmed. Punch that like button on your way in the building. Breaking news: the Miami Dolphins versus the Green Bay Packers Thanksgiving night. We first got previous news of the Buffalo Bills Week 2 Thursday night football. Which I just don't see any benefit for Miami other than the fact it's at home, but all the advantages are taken away. But now we got Green Bay on Thursday night. Thanksgiving. First thing I did when I found out is I looked up the temperatures last year. It was a high, I think, of like 40 something. And a low of 26 or 29. 26 or 29, I don't remember. And I looked at the chart, and as soon as 7 o'clock hits, it was 30. By 8 o'clock, it was 20. Yeah, so it was 26 was the low, I think. By 8 o'clock or whatever, it was like 28. So it's a potential freezing game. Either way, it's going to be cold. I always benchmark it with the Tennessee game where it was 43 at the beginning of the game and then it was like 36. And that's the cold weather, the threshold. I think the Dolphins' threshold for cold weather is like 45 or lower, something like that. where it's just terrible. This is an interesting one though. I'm gonna do my early predictions video, obviously, sometime early next week. But I gotta say, this one I have slated already as an L. I got us beating Buffalo in Miami. Okay. Hope I ain't wrong again like last year. I got us beating Buffalo in Miami this time. But this one, the Green Bay game, I got an L for the Dolphins. You're on the road. You're already in Green Bay. You know how that go. It's cold weather. Temperatures below freezing, below 32 at night. It's just the reality. It's the reality. It's already, I'm gonna be honest, even if it wasn't cold, Green Bay, a playoff team last year who won a playoff game, got a quarterback on the up and up. They've got a solid team around them, made some moves in the draft. I already had this slated as a tough game, but to know that we're gonna add that cold weather element, and let me say this, y'all gotta understand, they're a little bit more used to it. Their weather starts getting in the 50s and 60s come October. Beginning of November, they're dealing with the 40s and 50s on a regular at the beginning of November, creeping down into the low. They every night they already dealing with 30s, 39 and all of that at the beginning of November. They're practicing in 40-degree weather. They're a little bit more acclimated. It won't be a shock for them. It'll be a little colder, but it won't be a shock for them. It's just what they do. They're used to it. The fans are used to it. It's just tough. It's tough. And I'm going to tell you like this. These are the type of games, too, that are like zaps for Miami. Because we be in such warm weather. When we get there, we just get zapped. We get zapped. It doesn't matter if you get there on and then here's the crazy thing. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I got to see when our bye. I got to see when the bye. Now I'm hoping the bye is that Sunday before. I'm hoping that the bye is before that. Glenn said, I think you're giving excuses. That's not how is that an excuse? That doesn't justify a loss. Shame on the Dolphins for not being able to play well on the road and in cold weather. Shame on them. How is that an excuse? I'm telling you why we struggle. Just because I'm telling you why we struggle doesn't mean it's an excuse. An excuse is me justifying in a positive way why something happened, almost in terms of, it's okay because it's cold. Now, if I'm on here saying it's a cold weather game, y'all, so it's okay to lose it because it's cold, no, that ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying we just ain't proven to be able to win in cold weather games, which is a shame, not an excuse. It's a shame. It's a shame even more so because you play in a division that has the Patriots, Bills, and Jets, and every year you got to walk on eggshells to be like, oh, I hope the game's early enough. I hope, like they're saying week 9 might be Buffalo. It's a shame that we got to hope that it is. And this isn't a TD thing. Poll any Dolphin fan. Do you want to play Buffalo in week 13 or do you want to play them in week 9? Bro, you're going to get a 95% overwhelming vote. Week 9. It's a shame. Now, one thing I've always, not liked about the NFL, it's almost like, why don't you put like divisions in the same region. You know what I mean? Even though at this point I wouldn't want it because the history, we're so used to it. But you would think they would be like Bucks, Dolphins, Jags, Atlanta. You know, AFC East or AFC South. You see what I mean? You would think that would be it. You know, I just never understood that about the NFL. It's almost like the NFC East. You got the Giants, the Washington Commanders, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Not all of them, not too far, and then the Cowboys. It's just like the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills, Patriots in the same vicinity, and then the Dolphins. It's always been weird to me. And it sucks being the team and then them. And that's what the Dolphins are. We're the and then them team. Add them. You know, we're always worrying about being out of place in that regard. But humbly, I got this as an L for the Dolphins. First of all, it's a good team. They're on the up and up. We're on the road. I'm trying to think in my mind right now what could change my mentality on changing this from an L to a W. And I keep on going to the bye. Maybe if we got a bye right before going into that game. But I don't know if that still will change it. Because what I will tell you is it is going to suck if we don't have a bye right before it. It's going to suck if we don't have a bye right before it. You coming off of a potential Sunday game, and then you going right into the Thursday game. Not the greatest. I love those comments, Michael. TD, you cry too much. Give Miami a chance. Like, things are starting to get a little closer for me. Like last year, and like I feel like I'm in last year. Y'all, for those who were here, y'all remember last year? I feel like I'm so close to last year around this time. TD, you crying too much. Give Miami a chance. And me explaining to y'all, yeah, I am giving them a chance. I just got this as an L. Do you have every single game us winning? So if you don't have us going 17-0, then you're going to give us an L in some. And should I tell you which game do you think we're going to lose? And should I say to you, give Miami a chance? I don't know. Y'all give me 1 second. I just got to sign for this package I've been waiting on. They just got outside. 1 minute. All right. Well, I guess I didn't need to sign. Thought I did. Just dropped it off. Let me make sure that's what I was waiting on. Yep. That's one. That's two. And that's three. All right. Got it. All right. Let me put this back in here. Sit it right there. All right. The Amazon guy. No, FedEx. Some business paperwork. It's a Tua shirt. No, it's not a Tua shirt. Just realized tomorrow I'm gonna do a live tomorrow. I'm sick of this crap. I'm gonna do a live tomorrow. I gotta address some of these narratives again. I'm so sick of. I might start talking about them now. How sick of them I am. But we'll see. Let's stick on this game and then I'll get into some of that. Having a game on Thursday is like having a bye in a way. I agree with that on the back end. Now, this is what I'm hoping the Dolphins schedule doesn't have a lot of, okay? I'm really interested in seeing what our week 3 game is and our game after Thanksgiving. I want to see what our week 3 game is and what our game after Thanksgiving is. I'm hoping those are some of the easier games. I'm hoping those are some of the easier games. Because I want to be able to, if for any reason we do have a struggle, I want to be able to bounce back. Seattle week 3, is that confirmed? Let's just say Seattle is week 3. Oh, that's not good at all. If it's confirmed, it's not good at all. Okay, let's talk about the rumored games. Jacksonville week 1. We should win that game, but I'm going to tell y'all now, it ain't going to be a cakewalk. Anything can happen. Can you think of like imagine losing Jacksonville week 1? Because I'm more concerned about our pass rush starting out. We're not going to have depth in the rotation if Phillips and Chubb ain't ready. And if they are ready, I'm even more concerned about the long term of the team because I know that you're probably rushing at least Chubb back. So I'm going to tell you now, if you got the Jags week 1 and you mess around and lose that game because it's not a guaranteed win, that is a tough team. I don't like Trevor. I ain't gonna lie. Like 2 years ago, I used to be like, Trevor's on pace. He's doing what he's supposed to do. I like his growth. But ever since then, I ain't high on Trevor right now. They keep asking me, Trevor or Tua. I used to give Trevor Trevor by far, but now I'm like, I don't know. But I'm telling you, you can't. If Jacksonville is the week 1, you cannot take a L. You cannot take a L whatsoever because Buffalo gonna come down here smelling blood. Y'all give me a second. The wife calling. I know she asked about this paperwork. Hello? Yeah, I got him. All right. Yeah, I got it. I'm live. All right. So it better not be the Jags week 1. Somebody said Colts week 1. I'd way much rather the Colts week 1. Because if you take an L by the Jags, Buffalo gonna smell early blood in the water. And they come to Miami on Thursday night and get us. And then you want to take advantage of the big bye, having to go to Seattle, but you got to travel anyway. It ain't even like a bye. It's like a normal 7 days. You know why? Because you got to travel down there early. You got to travel back, all the jet lag. That's not even like having the 10 days off that you usually do after Thursday night. So you go to Seattle in a tough game. Seattle ain't going to be no cakewalk. That's going to be a tough road game. And they've been playing good football. And if you look at what they've done in the offseason, they have really actually loaded up. Somebody say Colts not sweet either. Colts low-key better than Jack. I get why you're saying that, and you're correct. But until I see Anthony Richardson doing something, we got such a small sample size. I don't care nothing about no Colts. Now, it might be us that'd be like, oh, yeah, he did. But right now, I don't care nothing about no Colts. Show me what you got, Anthony. Then I'll start talking about the Colts. But I know why you're saying that. That ain't no pushover team. I actually totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. But we'll get them. We'll get them. Well, again, their strength with Anthony's running potentially could be our downfall with our defensive end situation. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, man, y'all just made me realize that. The early part of our schedule with we're going to have a minimal rotation at the defensive end position. And them guys could get worn out easily, especially with a mobile quarterback. And they backups coming in to spare them could get cooked all game, which makes it easier for the O-line. And we already ain't got no interior pass rush, just so you know. So, but still, I ain't finna let y'all get me off of this Colts thing until I see Anthony Richardson be that dude, and he might have that opportunity if they week one. Until I see that, y'all ain't finna change my opinion on that. Colts, we gonna beat the Colts. I ain't worried about no Colts. Okay. Wait, but is the Colts on the road or at home? Is the Colts at home or on the road? Still ain't gonna let y'all change my thought, but I need to know. Put it in the chat real quick. Let me see. Come on, somebody give me the answer. 400 people watching. Give me the answer. I think they're at home, so I'm really not worried about them. One person said road. Are you sure? The Colts aren't road, are they? Let me look it up. Dolphins schedule. Schedule 2024. I bet it's loading, y'all. All they got is September 12. Hold on. Schedules for X. People posting these fake schedules, man. It's on the road. I know. All right. One more. Sorry, y'all. Any more signals? Oh. Sorry, y'all. So it's on the road, Colts. I'm still not gonna let y'all take me off of this. We're gonna beat the Colts on the road. We're gonna beat the Colts on the road. But back to my point, though, you don't want to take that L in the first week and then got to deal with Buffalo on a short week on a Thursday night, right? And then you come back and got to go to Seattle on the road across the country. You don't want those problems. Like the Dolphins don't want to start 1-2, and they sure don't want to start 0-3. 2-1 in that kind of start is really good. 3-0, okay. First of all, you already done beat two playoff teams. 3-0 would be crazy, you know. But again, I'm really interested in the game again right after the Thanksgiving game, because on that short week, well, first of all, who do you play before Thanksgiving? And then you got a short week after that going on the road in Thanksgiving. And then right after Thanksgiving, that's a big game. Like people think I'm just being this negative guy when I say this. Our schedule this year could be so disastrous or everything proven in the regular season. Unless we get like some massive franchise quarterbacks get hurt, you know, you see what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to have the Mac Jones twice this year, in which it wasn't just him. We're not going to have the Jets without Rodgers twice this year. We're not going to have whatever that boy name is in Carolina this year. We're not going to have the depleted Giants quarterback situation this year. That's 6 games right there that the Dolphins really did benefit from. Whether we would have beat them or not, they did not have a quarterback. They did not have a quarterback. With Flores, Dolphins started the season slow, but with McDaniels, Dolphins have started out the gate fast. We have 2 seasons of that being the case. But let's ignore the fact. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. That's totally irrelevant to me, and I actually don't see a correlation. I could see a correlation if you prove something in that fast start. So if you want to rewind back to the last 2 years and you really go look at what was going on in those games, who did you really play? Once again, you benefited from depleted secondaries. Just like the Baltimore game, had a rookie third stringer out there, man to man on Tyreek Hill. Just like the Buffalo game when both of their starting secondary guys were out. Outside of that, can you tell me what successful game we had in these early starts with Mike McDaniel that we proved that we can compete? The only early get off we got was against bum teams. Lucky for Mike McDaniel, the bums were early in the season. The good teams were later in the season. Same could be said about Flores. A lot of those runs that we went on at the end of the season, a lot of those were bum teams. And just like Flores was beating Baltimore. It's no difference. It's not about no fast start or slow start or fast ending and slow ending. It's about the level of competition the Dolphins have played. In the last 2 years, we have been a victim of the level of competition played. That's what you evaluate with the Dolphins. Those bum teams weren't supposed to be bums, so strength of schedule means absolutely nothing. I actually agree with you. But what you're supposed to do, you see, when you get strength of schedule at the beginning of the season, it gives you what's supposed to be projected based off of last year. We all know that's going to change. The real strength of schedule you're supposed to pay attention to is the one that you get when the season is over. As soon as the regular season is over, you go look at the strength of schedule for the season and you say, how hard or how easy was our schedule? The Dolphins had the 4th easiest in the entire NFL. And the one good team we beat had the 5th easiest, the Cowboys. The one good team we beat had the 5th easiest, the Cowboys. So yes, early strength of schedule means nothing. You pay attention to it at the end of the season, and last year, 4th easiest schedule in the entire NFL. We went from the 2nd hardest strength of schedule at the beginning of the season, but when the games were actually played, the 4th easiest. But I already told you why it ended up being the 4th easiest, because they didn't expect the Jets, which is 2 games of ours. The Patriots, we had those 2 games. They didn't expect those things. They didn't think the Chargers and Herbert would get hurt and the Chargers would do what they did. They thought that the Broncos would be tougher. All of those situations we benefited from. Not to mention, technically, a down Buffalo team that just turned it on late and came and caught us and took it. I mean, even them. Even a down Chiefs team that ended up winning the Super Bowl. But they should have had 2-3 more wins. I mean, if they were playing up to what we know them to be. So we had the 4th easiest in the NFL. Now, when we look at the strength of schedule right now, it still has I forgot, I think it's like somewhere like in the middle or whatever. But at the same token, everybody healthy, you cannot tell me preseason this schedule ain't going to be tougher than last year's preseason schedule when you look at all the teams that we're dealing with. TD flip-flop more than Stephen A. Smith. I don't flip-flop. You just can't comprehend. You can't comprehend whenever I'm making distinct differences in my argument. Sometimes A only qualifies if B exists, but you can't keep up with that. Got to keep up with it, man. Exactly. 100. A win is a win. Yes, a win is a win. But if you really want to talk correlation, why is it that the teams that can't be good teams, as soon as they get in the playoffs, they get bounced the first round because they play good teams? That's the real correlation. So, yeah, you got 10 wins or how many ever. Wins or wins. What did it amount to? What did it amount to? That's the question. What did it amount to? Thank you, Kenna. You really want to talk about this? How do you lose a 5-game lead with 6 games left? Oh my gosh. But you really want to talk about correlations. How do you lose that kind of lead? It amounted to 28 players on the injured list. Then why you know why there was 28 players on the injured list and we couldn't survive? Because yes, injuries can hurt your team. But how many times I got to tell you, you got to build a team that can sustain injuries. And we talk about Green Bay, who dealt with injuries too. This is why they didn't even have a receiver with more than 800 yards last year, but they had like 5 or 6 of them that had several hundred yards. Because y'all so infatuated with the 10 out of 10 Tyreek Hill, the 9 out of 10 Teron Armstead, the 9 out of 10 Jalen Ramsey. You know, this is what y'all infatuated with. When the real value is getting, instead of a Tyreek Hill 10 out of 10, going to get 2 8s in replace of him. So when he limping, y'all like, well, Tyreek was banged up. That's why we weren't as good. Waddle was banged up, so that's why we weren't as good. Making all of these type of excuses when the reality is Chris Greer only go get them 10 out of 10s to make sure y'all not mad at him for failing on his draft picks, some of the draft picks he made. That's the only reason he do it. The more successful, the more the team that has more success has more depth at a lot of these positions. I don't care how many defensive ends get hurt. When you got to go to get guys off the couch, no depth. No depth. Did you just say 2 8s? I'm rolling one up. LOL. Yeah, well, hey, you enjoy. That's why we got Odell and 6 new defensive tackles. No, Odell, I like that move though. So I like the depth of having Odell and Malik Washington in the draft. I feel like that can help us if somebody goes down. I actually like that move by Greer. I think Greer invested in some depth this year. You know, it's just certain areas you ain't even got a starter, in my opinion. Your whole interior offensive line ain't starters to me. If your center was a starter, Tennessee would have kept him for the cheap. As cheap as he is, why you think Tennessee ain't want him no more? Like these are the things that everybody want to sit here and glorify. Oh, he was solid. He does this well. As cheap as he is, why Tennessee ain't want him? And he got more experience in that system and know what's going on than anything. He got the chemistry with Will Levis. Why Tennessee ain't want him no more? At that cheap of a price. But we want to sit here and give this narrative like, oh, no, I think he's solid. And I think that, stop. Y'all say that crap every year about everybody. Y'all say that crap about everybody. 2 years ago, I told y'all, Kader Kohou has played well. But slow down. Let's let it play out. Man, we don't even talk about Kader Kohou. Like, this is what we always do. Six defensive tackles, more like 8. 8 defensive tackles. Out of Sealer, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I can't name one. Oh, you cover the Dolphins, you can't name one. I don't invest in wasting my time until you make the team. Like my first 2 years doing this, I used to, I got to study this undrafted player. Who is he? What's his name? Let me pronounce it right. Let me remember all the intangibles, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, it's time to do the stream. What you mean they cut him this morning? I don't waste my time. And I probably can name other defensive tackles, but I ain't even going to try to right now because I can't, but I probably can if I really think. But I ain't Dolphins sign another defensive tackle. Oh, I know who that is. Nope. Because all I got is Christian Wilkins in my mind, a 9 out of 10. And if you ain't at least a 6 out of 10, don't waste my time. And I'm telling you now, Dolphins ain't got a defensive tackle on this roster outside of Zealer that's above a 6 out of 10. Argue with yourself. Argue with yourself. No. What you call it is really solid. Argue with yourself. Please. TDR fans always act Billy bad until season end. LOL. Gotta respect every team every Sunday. Nothing wrong with staying objective. I'm gonna say something on that in a second. Let's get it. Southside said. Let me say this in regards to what you said about how our fan base act. Nothing wrong with acting like that as a fan. But here's what I try to instill on this channel more than anything now. Stop thinking we're the only team in the NFL. Stop thinking every move we made is the best one in the NFL. We always make these assumptions and analysis, and we don't even talk about what other teams also did. We don't. Oh, the Dolphins did this. That should get us over the top. Did you see what they did over there? Which is 10 times better. Like, that's what I like to instill in people now. So that's why I love the Huddle Show. Because it gets me not just so Dolphin ingratiated. We get to talk all football. That's why I love our show at 3 p.m., which I'm about to end this stream and go over there right now. BetUS TV, The Huddle. 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Come check us out. We get to talk football. Now, today we're going to be talking about these schedule releases, the early releases. But this is what I'm talking about. Start educating yourself about the NFL and not just the Miami Dolphins, because that's why we always let down in disappointment and think we know football. I'm not claiming to be a football genius, but at least I know what's going on these other rosters. And I don't know what's going on every other roster, but I know a lot about a lot of these rosters out here. And we got a new excuse of why we didn't do well every year when the answer's right in front of you. You just think that it don't exist. Just like this whole, Tyreek and those guys dropped some key touchdowns and key moments for the Dolphins. Spent the last 2 days putting on Twitter a whole bunch of key drops and key moments for other quarterbacks. It happens to everybody. Stop. Now Tyreek the issue. What up, King Lowski? I'll see you tonight. Anyway, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm about to go over to the Huddle right now. Live weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all come over, hang out with us right now. We'll be live at 3 o'clock. Thank y'all for tuning in. Fans up no matter what. I'll be back later for some more content here on TD Fans Talk. Plus, we got the AFC's roundtable tonight, so don't forget that as well. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Peace. I'm out.